Pallavi, that's a bit embarrassing when you give such a long background statement. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It's really wonderful to be here talking about a subject which is not only close to my heart, but it's very close to where we want to go, which is large scale impact. I think the first question that comes to mind is why the global south and why now? And I just want to delve a little bit deeper into that. I think the largest unmet need, really, and any possible in an opportunity to do population level impact is in the global south. I think the advances that we've had in digital public infrastructure, the health data ecosystem, as well as the AI policy environment has actually created a narrow leadership window for us to be able to really move the needle on this one. I think inclusive AI also leapfrogs shortages in workforce, data fragmentation, infrastructure, and also the high out-of-pocket expenses that many of us see in low and middle income countries. This is really the reason why we need to focus today on the global south and build the foundational principles that are going to be required for inclusive AI. And I really want to underline inclusive there because we really need to, while we are thinking about access, closing the gaps for rural and marginalized communities, affordability and scale, low cost, interoperable, deployable via digital public systems, and also finally the trust and the governance. We can't actually ignore that. It requires data governance, transparency, validation, and rights protection. There's a lot of work that's happening in terms of innovation already, but I think it's going to be critical that we look at data to improve social sector decision making while we are facing high quality data shortages. I think all of us know that in low and middle income countries in the global south, we're going to feel the pinch of not having the right quality of data sets. There are going to be challenges around infrastructure. We have to be careful about costs, the capacity of people, and there are going to be ethical and trust issues which we need to work around, which is going to be important as we move forward. Having said that, the priority pathways will come from the global south. The growth of low cost, context specific AI solutions, because AI is everywhere now. It's not limited to anything that, it's across the board. We really need to make sure how we can be frugal about it and how we can have it work for the population level. How are we going to really look at strong health data governance? And as we're going forward, especially in the health sector, we're looking at diagnostics and screening being an important part of the use of AI, and how we're going to actually overcome the infrastructure, workforce, and affordability barriers that will allow us to get to equitable screening as well as healthcare. Coming to what Path's perspective is and what role we play, of course, we are, as I always say, we are probably the smallest gear in this large machinery, which is going to be led by the government. But having said that, we have been involved with the global digital transformation through our platform, Digital Square. Some of you may have interacted there. There have been advances in AI benchmarking, which we've been part of, clinical decision support, especially for LMICs, for the frontline workers, and also responsible AI governance. We've also tried to work around some of the advantages of South-South collaboration via our programs, Fix AI, as well as AI for Public Health, two programs which have been highly successful in trying to do that. Why does this pre-summit matter? It will hopefully help align financing, localization, the use of DPI, as well as regulation. We really need to ensure that we are able to identify not every bright, shiny object, because in this whole marketplace of artificial intelligence, there are many of those. We really need to identify those which are inclusive, which covers cost, etc., which are actually scalable, because we are looking at population level impact, how we're going to reach that, and we need to identify those pathways and really run with that. Finally, I always want to talk about ethical governance, because as we go very fast in this race, it's going to be important that we coordinate well and we actually ensure that governance is well ethical, well sort of entrenched in ethics. We need to also highlight real world cases, which this pre-event will hopefully do a little bit of. We need to build cross-sector partnerships for pilot to population level impact. So cross-sector is going to be critical. And we need to also look at where is the future of AI in healthcare. I think I'm going to close by calling for a collective action from this group and beyond. The future of AI in health must be shaped by the global south. I will underline the future of global health. AI in global health must be shaped by the global south. We must keep in mind equity, trust, and public value. These are the three sort of important pillars that we have to think about. We must co-create solutions, scaling through public systems for universal health coverage, avoiding new inequities that will start coming up as we move forward. So I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much, Pallavi, for having me and handing over the mic back.